Hey everybody, this is my 20-gallon tank I've got down in my basement, and this was originally going to be another red-clawed crab tank, and I have decided to just make it into a fish tank. So tonight I did a little bit of a water change on it. I'm going to do a little impromptu video here because I did make a change while I was in there. If you're familiar with this tank, if you've been following along with my videos, you'll know that up against this piece of wood right here, I had a great big rock leaning up against that, and the idea was to give the crabs something to climb up, and then they could eventually get up on this piece of wood that at the time I had exposed above the surface, and they could actually get out of the water. Since I'm not going to do it as a crab tank anymore, I'm not worried about it, and so I just went ahead and filled the tank up properly after the water change. So that was the main change that I made. And when I was in there doing the water change, I found my final neon swordtail was dead. So I didn't even know that that one had died. I knew that I had some in there, but they were gone. And now that I'm looking around, I'm actually seeing some little white squiggly things floating around in the water, and I can't tell whether they're moving on their own. Oh yeah, there they go. They're definitely detritus worms. So I probably brought them in on the plants from the other tank, and they're just detritus worms, so that's no big deal. They're completely harmless, and you can actually even kind of think of them as part of your cleanup crew. There's even some fish out there that will eat detritus worms. So I'm not worried about them, but that is something that I'm now seeing for the first time. I hadn't noticed that they were in the tank yet. So we did a little bit of a water change, probably about 25%, and then we pulled that big rock out of there. And the only other thing I want to point out is the two pieces of Anubias rhizome that I have strapped to the wood. The one on top actually looks like it's got a little bit of new growth trying to develop on it, but that one was under the rock more than the other one. You can see where that bright white area is. That's where the light was being blocked by the big rock I had leaning up against it. And then the Anubias rhizome that's down at the bottom doesn't look very good, but I don't think it looks dead yet. I'm not going to give up just yet. And now that we've got the rock out of there that was blocking so much of that light, any new growth at all will be able to immediately begin absorbing some light, so we should have some pretty good luck with that. In the meantime, both my new angelfish are in there doing well. I'm really digging this guy here. And then this little one here is a looker too. This one's going to be sort of a gold color with dark smoky patterning in it. So I can't wait to see this one grow out. And then this one is pretty much obviously already starting to show what it's going to look like. It's going to have those really long fins and beautiful bright white and black colors on it. So there you go, everybody. Just a quick little update on my 20-gallon tank. I'm going to have to think of a name for this other than my 20-gallon tank, although I've been calling it that long enough now that that's probably just what we're going to wind up calling it. So I'll have to think of something to name it so we can make a playlist for it, because this should be an interesting tank to watch develop, especially with those two angelfish in there. I'm hoping they'll get along and they can actually sort of grow up in this tank together, or possibly I'll take the one out, the smaller one. I already had another tank I had in mind for that one. I was thinking about putting that one in my wife's tank, so I might try to get a pair of angelfish in this tank. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. That was just my little update here. I don't know what to call this tank, but if you're subscribed, you won't miss any of the updates I got coming up on this one or any of my other tanks. So thanks again, and I'll see you real soon in the next one.